Hey, hello, hi. um, you guys can probably hear the mic moving all over. Let me put it on. TMI. Hey, good morning. Good morning. I'm trying, being consistent. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this one quick. I'm gonna try to make this quick. So last night I finished Jay-Z, Made in America, and like 90 seconds ago, finished I just saw a video about him. I did I was like, "Oh, when he did the Philly concert, I'm sorry. I'm tired, but whatever the concert is, the Roots Festival, I was like, "Oh, yes, I was glad he came out and did his freestyle. I'm a big Jay-Z fan." And so I was like, this is the perfect time for me to read Decoded. I've been wanting to read Decoded for a long time. Decoded is his book that he put out. Talking about his lyrics and talking about his songs and giving context and um, you know, spelling out the lyrics. It's kind of like an art book. So when I went to go read it, it was okay. When I went to go, I knew I didn't want to listen to it on audio, or like I looked for it on audio, but I wasn't really trying to look for it on audio. I was trying to look for audio books so that I could immersive read the books on my shelf on my physical TBR. So I wanted to read Decoded, and I was just like, what do they have? What do they have on Libby? Um, and when I searched Decoded, this came up as well as an audiobook. So I was like, oh, well, I'll listen to this audiobook. It's called Jay-Z Made in America by Michael Eric Dyson. And I was like, oh, I will listen to that audiobook, enjoy it, while I, flip through Decode it and enjoy that. So what happened was I got the physical copy, I got the audiobook, and I started looking at Decoded, and I realized like, oh shoot, I was gonna do them together. I was gonna do them in tandem because I was like, it's part of my challenge to listen to these audiobooks um and read along with them. So I'm like, I just do it at the same time together. Little did I know that Decoded is like a book. It's like a book. I don't have it right now, but it is dense. Like the text is dense, so it has a lot of pictures. You know, because I thought it was kind of like a coffee table book, but maybe it is. Um, maybe that is pretty much the same thing because it's like an art book, and I know art books are huge. They have a lot of art in them, but the text is really small. So the text is small, and so I was like, oh, this is like a book. I can't read two at the same time. I can't listen to this and read that at the same time. It's gonna be too much. So I did start it. It was Decoded is gonna be awesome. I'm super excited that I'm finally getting around to watching to looking at Decoded and like reading Decoded, going through the whole thing. But yeah. Meantime, I started this. So, well, no, I started and I finished it, and I thought that this was a good companion. Michael Eric Dyson talks about how Jay-Z um has been an influence. It has pretty cool illustrations in it too. But how he's been an influence, and basically like his relationship to society, how we have viewed Jay-Z over the years, how he has impacted society, how he has been in constant conversation with society. And yeah, and this is he talks about um three different aspects, and there's three different sections in the book, and he talks about hustling, poetry, and politics. Now, hustling was my favorite part of the book. The hustling section was dope. I actually listened to it twice. um the politics section was interesting, and it was revealing. It was a lot. I get, Michael Eric Dyson has written a lot of books. So, yeah, he talked about some things that he probably has brought up in other books and I wasn't aware of and I wasn't ready for. Like, the politics section is interesting. It's messy. I mean, it was informative, but it was also like I had no idea, some of the things that he was talking about in the politics section. So, um, that was a lot. But it at the time I was like, okay, this is a little bit off the rails. But I know that I trusted that he was gonna reel it back in, and he did. He reeled it back in. But he took the opportunity to kind of like, really. I I was having trouble connecting with the message at certain parts, but I do understand. Like, but I do agree with like what he was saying and the claim he was making. I think it was there. It was just a little bit. It was for me. I don't want to say it came out of nowhere, but I was just surprised. I was surprised. Um, but another thing about this book is that it is it is written in academic language, which he's a professor. I thought it was Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, but he's a professor. It's written in academic language. So if you are interested in this book, grab your dictionary. Have your dictionary on hand because he writes like a professor. Um, and I pretty much agree with what he was saying in the book. Like, I am kind of on the same page. It did feel like it was a little glossy at times, but like I said, I that was what I picked it up for. I was excited to hear a different perspective, and he said a lot of things that I agree with. Jay-Z, he has been able to articulate what he has been able to articulate, put things in a language that was necessary. Just like Michael Eric Dyson used academic language to write this book, Jay-Z used the language of our time to talk about what was going on in the streets and to bring a perspective to people that wasn't brought up enough. And it is still kind of like, it's still a perspective that is very kind of unique to, it's not unique to him, but it's unique to him among people who are speaking and who have the ear of policymakers, decision makers, and tastemakers, all the same. Like, That guy. um. So yeah, this morning, I mean, like right before this, I don't know if it's the algorithm or not, but I did see the videos about his collaboration with Target. But yeah, a lot of people are saying what I would say, which is he's doing what he does. Um, he's been pretty consistent in his messaging, and here we are. Like there are things that still he talks about. What I liked is that they he talks about the philanthropy that Jay-Z has always done. There's just some great quotes in here. So maybe I'll just tell you all about the tabs I made, because seeing the current kerfluffle, the current controversy that he's in right now, I'm like kind of like, okay. I didn't expect I expected this video to align with, the recent performance. But then now that he's re-releasing the album, it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, now the internet is mad at him. So let's see. I don't know if people are gonna. Well, I welcome the discussion. Actually, I welcome the discussion. I think I'm not going to Target. Those were two different statements. I was gonna say I think something else. I don't know what I was gonna say, but the statement is I'm not going to Target. I'm not going to Target. Um, reading this and soon Decoded, I know that I'm probably gonna listen to Reasonable Doubt again, because me, I was a Volume 1 girly. Like Reasonable Doubt wasn't as much. I didn't have as much. I didn't have interest. I didn't have interest in Reasonable Doubt, because I mean I just seen it as like, at the time, it was a lot of like, to me, my perception was that it was going to be, a lot of like drug dealer rap, which I wasn't interested in that then, and I'm not interested in it now, and never have I been interested in drug dealer rap. So when Volume 1 came out, I really started paying more attention. I'm like, oh, this guy, he's got, sorry, he's got something to say. It's not just gonna, it's, and then another thing about Reasonable Doubt, I wasn't like super pulled in by the music. Me, I always say like, yes, um, I do love a good like analysis. I do love a good poem in the form of a rap, but if the music is not there, if the musicality is not there, I'm not gonna listen. I get flack for that, but what can I say? Hi. Look, I don't know why I talk like this. It's like everything runs into each other. So I get flack for demanding physicality, and also hi, how are you? That is a different statement. Good morning. I'm gonna read some like the things I tabbed, and then I'm gonna get out for here. I might tell you a little bit about what I got coming up next. Okay, so this is like in the introduction. I just thought some of these were just so good, just good nuggets. Okay, Jay has logged 30 years as a recording artist. His ideas and the issues he addresses offer us plenty to consider: masculinity and black love, hustling and elections, gentrification and generational wealth, criminal justice reform and neighbor to neighbor carnage, visual art, and the unbearable whiteness of museum walls, racial injustice and the impact of slavery. The racial injustice and the impact of slavery, the virtues of psychotherapy and its racial misuse, American myths of patriotism and empire, police brutality and the overmedication of black youth, and lots more besides. So that was just a laundry list of things that he has addressed in his music. Okay, sorry about the not much context, but I'm just looking at the tabs. So I'm trying to. In many ways, this is Jay-Z's America as much as it is Obama's America or Trump's America or Martin Luther King's America or Nancy Pelosi's America or Maxine Waters' America or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's America. Jay-Z have given, this is where I was like, yes, I need to tab this. Jay-Z has given this country a language to speak with, ideas to think through, and words to live by. His lyrics have shaped the self-understanding of a culture that grapples daily with racial and social justice. He is an important thinker and consequential artist, and instead of looking at hip-hop or his life through the lens of, say, civil rights or social respectability or mainstream politics, it is time to see America through Jay-Z's eyes. Let's see. I know he wrote this after King. He wrote this after 444. 2019. Oh, I don't know what sub means. What does sub mean? I'm a sub. Oh, thank you. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate. I'd be talking about books. Okay, bye. Thank you. Um. Okay. Okay. So this one. Okay. So this one was about a controversy. So there was a controversy. Jay had said something about Nipsey and gentrification. Let me see. Does he say what he said? Okay, well, I was the lyric because I can spot the lyric. The lyric is easy to spot. Gentrify your own hood before these people do it. Claim eminent domain and have your people move in. That's a small glimpse into what Nipsey was doing for anybody that's still confused as to what he was doing. So, critics on social media weighed in. They said gentrification is this. Basically, gentrification is ravaging communities by people with more who have more money. And Nipsey Hussle was not doing that. And that Jay-Z was undermining Nipsey's legacy by, saying that he was, and promoting renovation that comes at the expense of residents who are least able to afford homes in communities that are vastly overhauled. By taking Jay-Z literally, his critics overlooked his aim to broaden the scope of Nipsey's work by highlighting his efforts to reconstitute the neighborhood through bright hustling. That's a term that he coins a little bit earlier. And black entrepreneurship, which is the same as bright hustling for the most part. Oh, okay. Well, now how are you? If you don't understand English, how are you writing in English? Plus, Jay's critics spoke as if eminent domain is a governmental prerogative that individuals have no control over, and they contended that black folk couldn't en masse buy back the block, as Jay and others suggested, because they couldn't get the loans and credit. That's a stretch. I hear what people are saying, but you don't get people. People do what they can. Like they can buy back the block in their own levels, at their own levels. Like black people are out here buying homes. So I just don't think that I don't think that that was a good argument. I I agree that, we have to take control of our neighborhoods and our homes. And it's plenty of work. So by just saying that we can't, I think that's a cop out. Um, Here's another notation. It is noteworthy that a former crack dealer has transformed the image of black hustle by using the wiles of the underground to conquer American business. It is more remarkable that his historic rise is rooted in rhetoric, in words to explain black hustle and therefore black genius to the world. He has also adhered to a central tenet of hip hop: don't defer to whiteness and don't genuflect before the altar of American grammar. I like that one. Instead, he invited America to bow at the shrine of hip hop's language and to understand the genius of the black youth the country feared, ignored, detested, relegated to the projects, or forced into the underground. So yeah, this was I liked it. It was a good summation of all these things that Jay has accomplished and done. He he went he went deep into the beefs for some reason. Probably because that was the poetry lyric section, but I don't even think it was that. Um, so what I noticed is that some of his topics seem to kind of go off the rails, but we appreciate I appreciate Dyson for writing this book. I appreciate it for putting it in the academic language that he did, because he's a professor and it's an academic work, which also brings me to another point. Things have to be said in many, many different ways. Like, just like him, Jay-Z, putting his thoughts and his ideas on the paper and putting them in a rhyme form. Just like that brought all these ideas and all these notions that people weren't necessarily, who were listening to rap music, weren't necessarily thinking about. He really, like, he was able to articulate his thoughts on the track, and he was one of the only people that was talking about these things when he was talking about them. That is similar to the fact that, like, when Dyson wrote this book, he's taking his argument and he's putting it in front of his audience, which is an academic. I mean, it's an academic language. I mean, I know the parts that I read were not super academic, but I had to pull out the dictionary. Dyson is using academic language. This is like a thesis. It's like this is like a long essay about what Jay-Z means to this country, and to when I say this country, I mean to, like, the mental, the to our collective our collective thoughts about American communities, because regardless of what anyone says, these are American communities, and we should be thinking about them. We should be thinking about what's going on in these communities and what we can do to um, guide positive activity in communities and trend communities away from negative activity. Like, that's something that, collectively, it is important for us to put our mind on. And you're not going to be able to fix a problem if you haven't identified a problem. And that's what he did. I mean, many people in hip hop have done that. There's a long line of truth tellers in hip hop, but he did it in a way that was, different from others before him. I'm gonna read this last half. Where was it? If I gotta find. Okay, so there's a section in here where, well, there's in this part, he is just talking about things that he has done, things that Jay-Z has done, you know, in with the community in mind. I'll say that. And I'm sorry about, my own vocabulary because I'm like running on low. But it says Jay-Z has checked marks in many of these categories. He established the Sean Carter Scholarship for the formerly incarcerated and for disadvantaged youth who want to go to college. Helped to form an organization to promote criminal justice reform. Became a vocal advocate for bail reform. Produced documentaries that address the tragic deaths of Khalif Browder and Trayvon Martin. Visibly supported Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton at different times in their runs for the Oval Office, and used his social media platforms and other outlets to promote a healthy lifestyle to his followers, which he backed up with an investment of $1 million in a black-owned vegan cookie company. There are his New York Times opinion pieces on social and criminal justice issues, his financial contributions to 911 victims and Hurricane Katrina survivors, his aid to black folk in need of legal support for police brutality and free speech cases, his paying the taxes of rap superstars, and putting up money to bail out members of the movement for Black Lives. Yeah. So it's unfortunate that he's, there's yet another controversy on the horizon right now. But c'est la vie. This is like how the cookie crumbles. This is as the world turns. Like, he's gonna do some deal that makes him goo gobs more money, and people are gonna be mad about it. That's just kind of how it is. And I wonder, how come we not hearing about people suing Elon Musk? This man is a trillionaire. That's a completely unrelated thought. I mean, it's a little bit related. But it's just a question that's been on my mind for like the past 27 hours. Why are people suing him? I know they are, but how come we're not hearing about all these lawsuits? And people, I would think that people would have grounds to get together, because you can sue somebody pretty quickly. So I would think that people would get together and sue him over something. He's got to be doing something that's suable. And now, next up, I'm going to be reading The Seven Daughters of Dupree. I know you're excited about that one. I know you're excited about this one, because I'm excited about this one. And I'm not reading no more of this. No more academic No more, because yesterday I was. There were times when I was like, this was not a good idea, because the whole point of what I'm doing is like, oh, I'm gonna read the audiobook, immersive read the audiobook, and I'm gonna get through the book quickly. Now, when I read audiobooks quickly, I forgot, like, it's because they're really good. So it didn't quite, that didn't quite translate. Because even though this was a decent read. It was thought provoking and it was good. It was not like, oh, this is a great book, I can't put it down. So I won't be doing that again. um, the other nonfictions I have, at least they're like something, subject matters that I don't know much about. So yeah, those will be more, those will be more interesting and hold my attention more. This, I'm on, let me see. Okay, I'm this far. Okay, so I'm this far in. Not very far in, but a decent amount in. And I've heard so many good things about this book. I mean, yeah, my nosiness just got a hold of me, took over. So I started it, and I was like, yo, this is a little difficult. Only because, and it's not difficult. It's, first of all, it's fascinating listening to what's going on with these women. It's like, whoa, 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 it's crazy. It's got a gorgeous family tree in it. So I can say again, yet again, um, if it's got a family tree in it, you know it's gonna be good. Um, so I'm listening to it, and I'm like, man, what? First of all, it's taking a lot of like focus. Like, dang, this is obviously you need to be focused because there's 7 daughters, right? Right. And I know that I've heard that it has something to do with a curse. Let's see, is that right here on the? No, I'll read you this, but let me finish my thoughts first. Duh. Okay, so it has something to do with a curse, and I'm listening to, the book. I'm listening to it, and I'm like, is the curse that they're jerks? These women. It sounds like, okay, from the dialogue that we are getting in the beginning of the book. I'm like, okay, sounds like you all get older or you all have children and you become evil. Like, they're mean as hell. So that was just just something I noticed. Like, dang, what is going on with this family? It's a lot to parse, but I'm digging it. I know I'm gonna be finishing it in before tomorrow's live. I bet you I'll be finished. Okay, it's good. It's 1995, and 14-year-old Tati determined to find out the identity of her father. But her mother, Nadia, keeps her secrets close while her grandmother, Gladys, remains silent about the family's past, including why she left Land's End, Alabama, in 1953. As Tati digs deeper, she uncovers a legacy of family secrets where every generation of Dupree women has posed more questions than answers. That's what I was saying. I was like, damn, it seemed like every time a chapter ends, I have more questions than the last one. From Juby in 1917, whose attempt to pass for white ends when she gives birth to Ruby, to Ruby's fiery lust for Samson in 1934, which leads to a baby of her own, to the night in 1980 that changed Nadia's future forever. The Dupree women carry the weight of their heritage, bound by a mysterious malediction that means they will only give birth to daughters. The Dupree women confront a legacy of pain, resilience, and survival that began with an enslaved ancestor who risked everything for freedom. The Seven Daughters of Dupree, masterfully weaves together themes of generational trauma, Black women's resilience, and unbreakable familial bonds, echoing the powerful writing of the 12 Tribes of Hattie. It's a book, got a book in it. You know, I love that. I gotta write that one down. Nikisha Elise Williams, literary fiction that explores the ripple effects of actions, secrets, and love through 7 generations of Black women. Okay, because I was like, man, when are we gonna get to the love? When are we gonna get to the love? I'm like, dang, these people are assholes. And this is me using, I'm trying to use PC language, but you know what? Anyway, um, so yeah, this is gonna this is gonna be the subject of tomorrow's live. See you then, and until then, happy reading. Happy reading.